You ever wonder why you're still broke, despite how hard you work, how many hours you put in, how much motivation you have? It's not bad luck. It's not because you didn't manifest hard enough. It's because there are invisible traps built into society, culture, and even your daily habits, designed to keep you broke. 12 of them, silent killers. Some are disguised as convenience, some wear the mask of opportunity, and most people fall into at least one. Some into all 12, and never even realize it. And before you say, well, that's not me, understand this. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. And if your systems are infected with these traps, you lose before you even begin. This isn't theory, this is war. If you want freedom, real freedom, the kind that comes with money, power, and peace of mind, you need to see the battlefield clearly. And that starts here. Watch till the end, because by the time you're done, you won't just be aware of the traps. You'll be equipped to beat them. Debt. Debt is not evil. Let's start there. Stupid debt is evil. Consumer debt. And the buy now, cry later kind. That's the trap. Because most people go into debt for consumables. Fast fashion, dinners, upgrades they don't need. They trade tomorrow's freedom for today's dopamine hit. And by the time the debt is paid off, the meal's long digested, the outfit's out of style. And there's nothing to show for it except regret. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Debt can also be a weapon. Smart people use it to acquire assets. They take loans to buy rental property, to fund businesses, to purchase cash-flowing investments, and the asset itself ends up paying off the debt. The poor borrow for liabilities. The rich borrow for leverage. You need to know which camp you're in. So the next time you reach for your card or consider a loan, stop and ask, is this moving me closer to wealth or chaining me further from it? Because debt can either be your prison or your catapult. Choose wisely. Overspending isn't just a money issue, it's a mindset issue. It's what happens when you build your entire lifestyle around active income and forget that money should work harder than you do. Most people treat every dollar like it's meant to be spent the moment it shows up. They get a raise and suddenly they're upgrading everything: car, phone, apartment, wardrobe. But here's the reality. You're not rich if your money disappears every month. You're just a better paid slave. What they should be doing is redirecting a portion of that income to build passive income streams: real estate, stocks, automated businesses, ownership. But they won't. Because overspending feels good. They chase quick dopamine, fast fashion, trendy gadgets, status meals, but dopamine fades. Ownership lasts. Here's what the elite understand. You don't get rich by increasing your income. You get rich by increasing what you keep and where you put it. Overspending is the quickest way to stay broke, no matter how much you make. Control your urges, think long-term, and stop treating your bank account like a leak. It's meant to be a reservoir. Impulse. Impulse spending is the financial version of playing checkers in a chess game. It's reacting instead of strategizing. Direct-to-consumer brands, TikTok trends, Amazon lightning deals, they've engineered your psychology. They know exactly how to hijack your attention, tug your emotions, and extract your money before logic even kicks in. But here's the truth. The ability to delay gratification is the highest form of discipline in a distracted world. You see a deal and think you're saving, but if you weren't going to buy it in the first place, it's not a deal, it's a trap. And here's the kicker. When you make purchases without planning, you're giving away not just your money, but your power. Tate says it best. You will never become truly exceptional by being impulsive. The man who controls his emotions controls his life. Every time you pause and choose logic over emotion, you sharpen your edge. You harden your discipline. You train yourself to play the long game. Because in this game of wealth, the player who thinks 3 moves ahead always beats the one reacting in real time. Loans. Here's the thing about loans. They aren't evil, but most people use them like amateurs, borrowing for pleasure, not power. They take loans to consume: new phones, cars they can't afford, vacations they haven't earned. And by the time the debt is paid off, the item's long gone, outdated, or forgotten. Nothing to show for it but a drained bank account and a dented credit score. The rich play the game differently. They borrow to acquire assets, real estate, cash-flowing businesses, things that work for them while they sleep. Poor people borrow to feel rich for a moment. The rich borrow to become even richer over time. This is where most people fall for the rich dad, poor dad paradox. They fear loans because they only see the pain. But the pain doesn't come from the loan. It comes from misuse. Tate-style truth: the world's already against you. Why help it keep you broke by financing your own slavery? So here's your play. If the loan isn't tied to growth, income, or appreciation, don't take it. If it doesn't push you forward, it's pulling you under. Discipline yourself now, or be a servant to compound interest later. Credit isn't the enemy, but ignorance, that'll ruin you. Most people treat credit like it's free money. Swipe now, stress later. They don't realize credit is a double-edged sword. In the hands of the wise, it builds empires. In the hands of the undisciplined, it builds debt prisons. Credit is a tool. In the wrong hands, it's a weapon against yourself. That's a truth no financial guru will sugarcoat. But here's the real trap. Paying the minimum balance. It feels safe, comfortable, but it's a scam in disguise. By paying just the required monthly payment, you're not clearing your debt, you're feeding it. You're stacking up interest and dragging that balance into next month, and the next, until your $500 swipe becomes a $950 regret. The credit card company didn't rob you, you robbed yourself. And yet people will say, "I'm scared of credit cards, they're dangerous." No, you being undisciplined is dangerous. You see, the rich love credit because they've trained their minds. They use it to build trust with banks, earn leverage, and access power. With strong credit, you can buy real estate with OPM, other people's money, secure better rates, and scale your business without touching your savings. Credit isn't about spending, it's about strategy. If you're disciplined enough to pay your full balance each month and use it like a business tool, not a toy, you'll win. If not, you'll stay broke and blame the system. So here's the mindset shift. Your credit score is more valuable than your sneaker collection. Treat it that way. Build credit, leverage it, don't fear it, master it. Scams. In a world ruled by urgency, desperation is the ultimate vulnerability. Scammers know this, and they prey on it. We're living in an age where AI can clone voices, where phone numbers can be spoofed, and where fear or excitement can be weaponized against you in seconds. You get a call that your bank account's compromised, or that your child is in danger, or that this crypto coin is the last chance to 100x before midnight, and because you're emotional, you act. But here's the truth. If someone puts a metaphorical gun to your head, you don't have to pull the trigger. Harvey Specter said it best. When someone points a gun at you, you take the gun, or you pull out a bigger one, or you call their bluff. Scams operate on urgency. They need you to act now, because the longer you pause, the more the illusion fades. Even on the positive side, flash sales, countdown timers, only 3 spots left, offers. Those are psychological warfare. They're designed to override your logic. So how do you protect yourself? Simple. Pause. Pause before clicking. Pause before giving out information. Pause before trusting a voice, even if it sounds like your mom. And most importantly, stop reacting emotionally. Every scam, every manipulation, every con, they all require you to abandon logic for feeling. This isn't just about online scams, it's business scams. Partnerships, fake coaches, gurus. Scams don't always steal money. Sometimes they steal time, trust, and momentum. So here's your rule of thumb. If you have to decide right now, the answer is no. Because real opportunities don't beg. Only scams do. Habits. Most people aren't broke because of one catastrophic event. They're broke because of small, consistent, unconscious habits that compound against them every day. It's death by 1,000 cuts. A coffee here, a food delivery there, a dopamine hit that feels good in the moment, but moves you further from freedom every time. What you do daily is who you become permanently. People say they want wealth, but their habits scream comfort. Comfort in the bottle, comfort in processed food, Comfort in another episode. Comfort in doing what feels good instead of what creates good. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't addicted to bad decisions. They're addicted to comfort. But growth only lives outside of it. Your life is a reflection of systems and patterns you've tolerated. And the reason you can't seem to break out financially is because your subconscious is still programmed for survival, not domination. Every time you say, just this once, every time you ignore the budget, every time you push your goals to next month, you reinforce the identity of a person who doesn't follow through. It's not just about money habits either. It's your posture, your sleep, your food, your screen time. Every system you install, audit everything. Track, measure, replace. Because once your habits align with your ambitions, wealth isn't a dream anymore. It's inevitable. Delays. Everyone says they want success, but when it's time to act, they stall. I'll start saving next month. I'll invest when I feel ready. Let me just wait for the right time. Let me tell you something straight. There is no perfect time. The only thing you're guaranteed to get by waiting is less time, less leverage, and fewer options. Most people think they're being cautious. In reality, they're just being cowards with calendars. Delays are silent killers. They don't scream at you. They whisper. They make you feel safe. But every day you delay action, you delay results. And worse, you train yourself to freeze when it matters most. You don't become elite by preparing forever. You become elite by getting in the arena. Like Tate says, every setback, every pressure, every moment of stress should scream good, because that's the moment you sharpen your blade. Delays rob you of these lessons. They rob you of momentum. Want to know how real winners think? They act fast. They pivot when needed. They solve as they go. And they understand that clarity comes through movement, not overthinking. So if you've been putting something off, building that business, fixing your credit, starting that side hustle, this is your sign to move. Because while you're thinking about it, someone else is already executing and taking your spot. Luxury. Most people think luxury is something you have to slave away for, save every penny, spend through the nose, and then finally splurge on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Bali or a fancy dinner in Paris. And they post it online like they've made it. But that mindset, that's broke thinking. That's consumer luxury. It's not wealth, it's financial cosplay. Let me tell you the truth. Truly wealthy people experience luxury constantly because they understand the game. They don't pay full price for luxury. They leverage the system. They use credit card points from business ad spend to book $25,000 flights for free. They travel hack. They get into first-class lounges and five-star hotels not because they saved up, but because they built systems that give them access. They fly private by booking empty leg routes at a fraction of the cost, and you'll never hear them brag about it. They're too busy living like it's normal. Meanwhile, the average person takes one overpriced vacation every 3 years, posts it all over Instagram, then comes home to credit card debt and financial stress. That's not luxury. That's financial self-sabotage disguised as reward. Here's the key. Luxury is not about how much you pay. It's about how smart you are. It's about positioning, leverage, playing the long game. People chase lifestyle before they build leverage. And that's why they stay broke while pretending they're rich. Don't be impressed by how loud someone's luxury looks. Be impressed by how quietly someone can afford it. Subscriptions. Subscriptions are the silent leeches draining your wallet while you sleep. Most people don't even know how much they're spending. $9.99 here, $12.99 there. Streaming platforms, gym memberships, delivery apps, cloud storage, digital tools, magazines they haven't opened in 6 months, and they wonder where their money goes. You were never sold on that price. You were sold on the illusion of, it's just a few bucks. But those few bucks add up to hundreds, sometimes thousands every year. And the worst part? Most of these things aren't even used. You're paying rent on a lifestyle you don't live. Why does this happen? Because companies have weaponized psychology. They prey on forgetfulness, convenience, and the fact that most people never review their statements. This is a modern version of death by 1,000 cuts. Now, I'm not saying never subscribe to anything. I'm saying audit everything. You want elite-level discipline? Start here. Because if you're leaking $200 a month on crap you don't even use, then what does that say about your attention to detail in business, in investing, in life? This is about control. And if you can't control the little things, the big things will own you. So go through your statements, cancel what doesn't serve you, and stop letting companies milk you just because you were too lazy to click unsubscribe. Remember, you're not just trying to save money, you're training yourself to move like a high-performance machine. Investments. Most people don't lose money because they're unlucky. They lose money because they're uninformed, impulsive, or operating from fear and limitation. Everyone wants to invest, that's the buzzword, but very few know what they're doing, and worse, they think investing is how you get rich instead of how you stay rich. They chase hype. They jump into crypto pumps, sketchy NFTs, TikTok stock picks, gambling apps, or some guru's secret strategy. Why? Because they want fast money without putting in the real work. But here's the truth. If you're looking for shortcuts, you're a walking target. You wouldn't give your life savings to a random guy in a parking lot. Yet people throw thousands into things they don't understand, with people they've never met. The real damage isn't just financial. You lose time, you lose confidence, and you lose forward motion. Bad investments cost you years.
Now let's be clear.
I'm not saying don't invest. I'm saying know the difference between a calculated move and a hope-fueled gamble. If you want to win this game, you need self-control. Say no until you fully understand the risk. Due diligence. Research until you're bored, then do more. Risk management. Never invest what you can't afford to lose. And never chase losses. Here's something most won't tell you. The best investments are often boring. Think cash-flowing real estate, index funds, profitable businesses, or reinvesting into your own skill set. But here's the kicker, and this is where I break from the pack. Most people are operating under limiting beliefs about what's even possible. Over the last month, we turned $90,000 into over $300,000 and $30,000 into over $150,000 trading options. Did that require real skill, experience, and risk? Absolutely. Do I recommend the average person copy that? No. They're probably better off putting their money into broad market ETFs like SPY or QQQ and sticking to dollar cost averaging. But the mindset that 10% per year is the best I can do is expensive. You won't hit what you don't aim for. And if you cap your ambition before you even begin, that's the costliest investment decision you'll ever make. Your beliefs are the ceiling on your portfolio. If you truly want to build wealth, invest in yourself, build competence, break the mental glass ceilings. You are the asset. And as you improve, the opportunities will multiply.
No plan.
Most people are like feathers in the wind. They just float, waiting for life to push them from one moment to the next. From job to job, from bill to bill, from happy place to sad place. They react, they don't lead, they survive, but they never build. They wake up broke, they go to sleep broke, and they wonder why life never changes. Because they have no plan for their money, no plan for their time, no plan for their growth. They just hope that things work out. Let me be brutally honest with you. Hope is not a strategy. And make more money isn't a plan either, it's just a sentence. If you don't know what your expenses are down to the dollar, what your short-term and long-term goals are, and how your income streams are building your future, then you're not in control. You're floating. You need to understand something. Success doesn't reward movement, it rewards direction. And direction only comes when you take control. Your financial plan doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to exist. Because without it, you'll spend years running on a treadmill wondering why nothing's changing. At the level I play, I don't guess, I don't hope, I execute. I know what the next 6 weeks look like, the next 6 months, and where I'm trying to be in the next 6 years. Because when the storm comes, and it always does, the man with no map drowns first. You've got to stop floating and start steering. That's the shift. That's the difference between average and elite. Make a plan, stick to it, adapt if needed, but never move without purpose again. You've just learned the 12 traps that keep most people broke. And odds are, you've fallen into at least one. That's okay. The goal isn't to feel bad about the past. The goal is to take responsibility and start building your future today. Because here's the reality. Success is not something you arrive at. It's a standard you maintain. I know people who make millions, and they work harder than people who make thousands, because they understand that success is rented, and the rent is due every day. You can keep coasting, keep making excuses, and keep telling yourself you'll fix it tomorrow. Or you can look at your life in the mirror and say, I'm done being average. The system is designed to keep you distracted, broke, and obedient. That's why most people never escape it, but you're not most people. If you've made it this far, you're clearly ready to think differently. So don't just listen, execute. Which of these 12 traps hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. We read every reply. And if you're ready to go deeper, hit that subscribe button and don't miss what's coming next.